Hello and welcome. My name's Tony and I'm here with the Everyday Counts program. It is September. I don't quite know how that's happened, but here we are. And today's class is gently moving through the whole of our body to get a little movement going and noticing what's happening in our body and adjusting and adapting our movements to suit ourselves. So you're listening to me about 10% of the time, and you're listening to your body for the other 90%. Making sure that you are stable on your chair and you've got some space around you. Rooting down through your feet into the earth underneath you. And you can do that any way that feels good to you. You can give your feet a little bit of a stamp. You can pick the toes up, spread them wide, give them a wiggle. And then we're sending the soles of the feet down to connect down to the earth. Do the same thing with your seat, sitting deeply into your chair. Deciding for yourself whether you want the support at the back of your chair or you want to sit away from it. Allowing your body to be supported here by the chair and ultimately the earth. Rising from there through the spine. Broadening through the collarbones, soft through the shoulders, crown of the head is reaching up. And from here, notice if you're sitting more back with your shoulders or more forward, or if you can balance them more or less over your hips, and notice how that feels. Feel free to tune your awareness inside by softening your gaze or closing your eyes. Full breath in when you're ready. And exhale, allowing your energy now to softly settle. Allowing the breath to settle too. And noticing how you're feeling today. Noticing how your energy levels are. What emotions are present. What thoughts are on your mind? How your physical body is feeling. From the familiar, loud places all the way to the quiet places, the places you don't pay attention to at all. And get tuned in to the language of your body. Softening tension and tightness as you find it as best as you can. Through taking the breath to those areas or changing up how it is that you're seated. Always giving yourself permission to adjust and change things for yourself. Noticing your breath. Maybe breathing in and out through your nose if that's comfortable as you steady your breaths as they come and go as best as you can. Everybody breathes differently. We're not trying to achieve one breath or another. Steadying the breath as best as you can. We steady the breath, we steady the nervous system. Steady the nervous system, we steady our thoughts, we steady our body. Any forcing of the breath, let that go, so the breath becomes effortless. Rooting to rise. On the inhale, the chin lifts. On the exhale, the chin drifts down. Keeping the movement soft, steady, just like the breath. Guided by the breath. If the breath and the body were dancing, the breath would definitely be the leader. yourself permission to play around with the movement, adjusting it, adapting it to what feels good for you, maybe making it bigger or smaller or resting. After the next exhale, bringing the chin back to center. With that steady breath, this is the inhale and the exhale, taking the nose to one side, inhaling to center, exhaling over to the other side. Keeping that steadiness in the breath, the steadiness in the movement, the dance of movement with the breath. Next time we come back to center, we stay. The right hand comes down, dangling, and allowing the wrist to circle. Fingertips and thumbs spread, or taking that hand into a fist, soft or taut, your choice. And then we'll take that round in the opposite direction. Just being aware, noticing anything that arises. Steady movement, steady breath. When you're resting, taking the hand down, circling through that shoulder, one direction. Noticing where you feel this. If you can hear things in your body as you move. If you need to adjust anything. Keeping the movement as smooth as possible as we then take it round in the opposite direction. Smooth, steady, easy. Hand comes down, turning the palm up from the elbow, inhaling up, exhaling down. The dance with the breath and the movement. Not needing it to be anything other than it is. Aware of places that feel less smooth than others. Maybe coming from the shoulder, if that feels comfortable for you. Left hand can support you on your chair as that right arm may want to come overhead, starting to get that flexion through the side of the spine. Smooth and steady. Flowing with the breath. Last one here. Right hand comes down in your own time. Left arm down. And we're circling through the wrist. Fingertips and thumb extended or soft or tight fists, your choice. And then we'll go around in the opposite direction, whatever feels better in your body, in your own rhythm. Steady movement, steady breath. Allowing the hand to dangle down, left shoulder circles. Are you allowing the breath to guide the movement, or are you fitting in the breath with the movement? Smooth and steady, everything as best as you can. And then take that round in the opposite direction when you're ready. Always making adjustments. Hand hand comes down, palm turns up from the elbow, inhaling up, exhaling down. From the shoulder, if that suits you. That right hand can support you on the chair if that left arm were to come up and over. The breath is always guiding the movement. Allow it to be your movement. No particular way it has to be. Another 2. Hands come down to support any softness you need, any intuitive movement. Please go ahead. Coming into seated cat and cow. If you want to come forward on your chair, then please do if you feel stable. On the inhale, the heart comes forwards, the hands and the elbows draw back. Exhale, rounding through the belly as we send the fingers forward. Moving primarily through the shoulders to start with. The shoulder blades come towards each other on the inhale and slide away on the exhale. Taking that into the head and the neck as the inhale, the chin lifts, exhale, chin draws down. And then we're moving down the body on the inhale as the front ribs jut out. On the exhale, we're drawing the belly deeply in towards the spine. And of course, you can do as much or as little as you like. The last one on the inhale, we're sending the tailbone out behind us. On the exhale, tucking the tail onto the back of the pelvis. If you want to add on with the arms, on the inhale, the arms come up. Again, the same dance. Exhaling, drawing down, maybe even back behind you. Allow the arms to be in a natural place for you. You can take this all the way down into the feet. On the inhale, imagine dragging the heels back towards the chair. And on the exhale, pushing the toes away from you to curl through the back more. Noticing everything that's going on, adjusting to the breath, adjusting as your body gives you messages. Two more, resting if you prefer. And then coming all the way back to center. Any movements you need, go ahead. And from here, taking the right hand into a soft fist, rooting down to rise. Everything from the pelvis down stays as it is. This is the inhale. On the exhale, left hand supported or dangling. We're taking that soft fist over to the left. Gaze can come with it. Inhaling back to center, exhaling, gentle twist. Now you get to set the angle here. That right fist can come towards the front on the left side. It can come over to the left. It can come even back behind you, depending on your range of motion. But again, everything is guided by the breath. The exhale, just as steady as the inhale. Noticing if both sides of the pelvis, especially that right side, is rooting down as you bring the hand over. You get to adjust this to your own body's needs. Soft, slow punching over towards the left side. And then the option here is to take that fist down towards the earth. So across the body, any amount, either forward, to the side, or back, depending on your range of motion, keeping that right hip rooted. Noticing what's happening with the breath, keeping it steady, easy, keeping the movement steady and easy. Option to stay here or the previous modification. Option to take it across the body and up. And this might feel very different. So noticing. And then we'll do one of each. So, across, mid-height, lower height, and high. One more either side, either height. Always adjusting for what it is that feels best for you. Coming back to center. And the right hand comes down, left hand, soft fist. Rooting down through the feet and the pelvis, especially the left side of the pelvis. This is the inhale, neutral spine, exhale, taking the fist over towards the right side. Left seat is rooted. Inhale. Exhale, and you get to decide the trajectory here. So maybe that right hand punches more forward to the side or even back behind you, depending on how much range of motion you have. More is not better here. We're coming from a steady anchoring point, and the breath is your guide. Anytime the breath is not steady and smooth, the movement is guided by the breath. So do a little less. Notice where you feel this in your body. Being curious. Option to stay here. Option to take that punch low across the body and low. Any amount. You can take the gaze with you, of course, or not. Left sit bone is rooted down. An option to take the fist high. That may change things up in your body. Always adjusting the height, where it is that you're going, the steadiness of the movement. Resting when you need to, do every other one, anything that suits you. And then we're doing one of each. So mid, low, and high when you're ready. One more on the right side, and we'll go from side to side. So from here, back to center, both hands and fists here. This is the inhale. Exhale, mid-height with the left. Low and high. Mid, low, and high in your own time. Noticing if your lower body is shifting or moving with you. See if you can keep that rooted. The breath is guiding you. One more each side. Coming back to center. Taking a big breath in. Exhaling it out. Nicely done. And from here, we're taking the legs out wide. Coming closer to the front or the back of your chair, your choice. Hands supporting you on the top of your thighs, rooting to rise. And then from here, circles through the ribs, one direction. Flowing with the breath. So the breath is still fluid. The movement is fluid as you can make it, and I highly recommend softening your gaze or closing your eyes to allow yourself to tune out any exterior stimulation. So you can go inwards and notice what it is your body would like. No right and wrong, no need to think that you get it right or that there is a right to get. The more intuitive it is for you, the better. Pause at the end of your exhale and we'll take that round in the opposite direction. Adjusting, adapting things always for your body. And then when you're ready, coming back to center, rooting to rise, steady, smooth breath. And with that smooth breath, I'm going to come more forward on my chair because it feels more comfortable for me. I'm going to root down through the left leg, pick up the right toes or the ball of the foot, hand to the knee. On the inhale, external rotation. On the exhale, internal rotation. The rest of your body is still and stable, and the fluidity guided by the breath is through the right hip. Notice if at any point you're kind of pushing yourself past the boundaries of the breath, and if that's the case, do less. When the body feels comfortable, it naturally opens up. When we push the body, it starts to contract to make sure it's safe. So we stay within the ease of the breath. The body naturally gets used to the movement and feels safe enough to open up from there. That's what we're aiming for. Notice if you have certain thoughts or expectations of yourself, and seeing if you can simply let that go and come back to the sensation, the experience of this movement, of this breath. 2 more on this side, or resting, your choice. And at the end of the next exhale, we'll come back to center. Take that foot down if it was lifted, coming to the other side. Right foot roots, rooting to rise, steady, smooth breath. With that flow of breath coming to the left side, foot to the floor, toes lifted or ball of the foot. Inhale, taking the knee wide, exhaling, drawing it in. And this side may feel very different from the other. Again, notice if you're starting at the extremity of your range of motion and seeing if you can back off from there. Notice how your body immediately starts to flow with more ease because it feels safe. Notice your expectations on yourself, on your left hip. Stay within the boundary of the breath. Can you allow whatever is at this moment to be enough? Experience the movement, breath to breath. 2 more. And then the foot comes out, rooting down. Again, readjust yourself on your chair as you need to feel stable. If you need to adjust the external rotation, please do. Left hand supporting yourself on the left thigh, right palm turned up. Collarbones wide, rooting to rise. And notice if you're sitting more forward here, if you can bring your shoulders and the base of your skull back as if you're kind of resting on an imaginary wall. Keeping the collarbones wide, right palm turns up. On the inhale, we're sweeping up, exhaling down next to the hip. Keeping that left hand supporting you on that thigh. If that right arm wants to come over, you have the support of that left hand. More is not better, figuring out what works for you. Noticing where you feel this. If you can adjust anything for it to feel more comfortable for you. Always the movement is guided by the breath. Option to stay here. Option to hover that left hand and notice if you need the support of the left hand. And if you do, keep it there. If you don't, hover the hand. Adding on. As the right arm sweeps up and over, the left arm goes in the opposite direction. Collarbones wide. Notice where you're feeling this. Rooting always to rise. One more. And coming all the way back up to center. Rolling the shoulders, anything you need to ease things. Readjust your foundation. And then root to rise. Flowing breath. Right hand is on the thigh. Left hand, palm turns up. Inhaling and exhaling, flowing with your breath. Staying at any bus stop you want along the way. Right hand is there if that left arm wants to come up and over. Staying here, keeping those collarbones wide, head more or less stacked above your heart, heart more or less stacked above the hips. Option to play around with that right hand, excuse me, on the right thigh. If you don't need the support, then you can hover it. If you do, keep that support down. Adding on. As the left arm comes up, right arm sweeps over to the left. Breath is allowing you to flow. Notice where you're feeling this in your body. Steady what feels unsteady, even if it means doing less. Two more. No momentum. All controlled as we come all the way back up to center, rolling through the shoulders. Any adjustments, go ahead. I'm going to sit more back onto my chair as from here we're doing shoulder dips, coming forward, hands supporting yourself, rooting to rise within the flow of the breath always. This is the inhale and the exhale, dipping forward and down the right shoulder as we turn to the left. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Using the leverage of your hands on your legs, as much or as little as you like, to find the connection between this movement and the lower back, the QLs, the muscles between your pelvis and your lower back ribs. Always staying in a place where you feel stable, that you feel is comfortable, and you'll know that because the breath is flowing and easy, the movement is flowing within the breath. Two more this side. And then going to the right to left shoulder dips down. The side may be very different. Take it easy to start with again. Allowing the body to ease into the movement. No need to push yourself. Everything is controlled. Steady, mindful movement. Always aware of what your body is giving you feedback on and adjusting to that. Another 2 here. Coming all the way back up to center and heel toeing the legs in towards each other. Big breath in. Exhale it out, slow and steady. Nice. So going inwards, closing your eyes, softening your gaze. Noticing how you feel after the first half of that seated practice. Flowing breath. Noticing your body, your energy levels, loud places, familiar places, quiet places, unfamiliar places of your body. And from here, I'm going to meet you guys on the floor. Take any props that you need to for relaxation at the end or for your comfort. And I'll see you down there. Here we are, all the way down on the floor, and we're taking it all the way down onto our back. So any softness, any support you need underneath you to make yourself comfortable, please go ahead and do that. Knees to the sky, feet to the floor. Readjusting yourself so you feel comfortable. Tune inwards, close your eyes, soften your gaze, anything that feels comfortable here. And then simply start to tune in. Allow the breath to start flowing, steady and smooth. Once you've established the steady breath, right knee draws in towards your chest, give it a little hug. Notice the gentle rocking of the body with the breath. Even as you rest here passively. Hand can rest on that right knee or towards it. Left arm rooted and grounded. Right knee up towards the sky. And we're circling with the right knee. If it feels comfortable for you, that left knee can wing out towards the side to counteract your knee coming out to the side. And if you feel comfortable without the support of your right hand, you're welcome to take that range of motion without the support of the hand. Big or small. The last adjustment is to take that left leg long if that's comfortable for you. You might notice there's a circling, a rolling round on the back of your pelvis. And then when you're ready, we'll take that round in the opposite direction, either with or without the guidance of that right hand. The left knee bent, the left knee winging out towards the side with support or not, your choice. And then we're coming all the way back to center. Left foot comes back to support, arms down in your own way next to your hips in a T, a cactus, whatever suits you. This is the inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to shoot that right foot down towards the bottom of your mat, heel hovers. Inhale, knee draws in, exhaling, hovering. Or sorry, inhaling, extending, exhaling, coming back. Option to stay there. Knee coming in towards your belly, or we're going to change it up. As we extend, we'll draw the right knee out towards the armpit. And then inhale, extend, drawing the knee in. So alternatively, we're taking it out towards the side and in towards your chest. So again, that range of motion through the hip. Option to take that left leg long if that feels comfortable in your body. It's going to feel a whole lot easier with that knee bent, so you get to decide. One more full movement out towards the side and then in towards your chest. And when the knee comes in towards your chest, you're going to give it a little hug. Left foot to the floor, shift the hips to the right, extending the left leg. Left hand, outer right knee. Right arm is rooted, so the shoulder is connected downwards, and we're taking the knee over towards the opposite side, over towards the left. If that shoulder on the right side is grounded, you can take your gaze to the right. Steady breaths. Steady and smooth, easy breaths in your own time. And then when you're ready, gaze comes to center. Knee comes up to center, and we re-establish that central point of the hips. From there, left knee draws in. You can give that knee a little hug, any which way feels comfortable for you. Grounding down through the back body. Left hand towards the knee, right arm is rooted in your own way. Left knee up towards the sky. Start small, flowing with the breath, circles. Right knee can come out towards the side to compensate for the size of the movement. Give you some more grounding, or you can extend that right leg out. With or without the support of your left hand, depending on what feels comfortable for you. There is no right and wrong. The breath is guiding you. And then when you're ready, we'll pause and take that round in the opposite direction. Steady breath. The breath is always leading the movement. And then when you're ready, we'll take the knee back up into the chest, give it a little hug. Right foot comes back to support. From here, this is the exhale. On the inhale, we're sending the left leg out, hovering above the earth, back to center, bending the knee. Inhaling, extending, exhaling, drawing back. Keeping it steady and smooth. Again, the breath is always the gauge. Option to send that right leg long. And notice how that changes things up, gives you a little less stability. Option to stay here. Option after the next inhale to take the knee wide towards the left armpit. Inhale, length. Exhale, drawing back into the chest. So we're getting that range of motion through the hip. Doesn't matter how high the knee comes, you're working within what feels comfortable within the breath, within your body. You can do every other one. You can rest. If this is not for you, then no need to do it. Another 2. And then when you're ready, knee comes back in towards the center of your chest, give it a little hug. Right foot comes to the floor, shifting the hips to the left. Any other twist you want to take, go ahead. The right leg extends, right hand out to left knee, left shoulder's grounded, keeping it grounded. Take the left knee towards the right. You can support it with any props, so you can keep it wherever it's comfortable. Adjust that. And then if that left shoulder's grounded, the gaze can come towards the left. And you're breathing, noticing the steadiness of the breath, the ease of the movement. So allowing yourself not to go right to the edge, but to stay within comfort, so the breath does feel comfortable and the body naturally feels like it can open up, rather than pushing yourself right to that edge so the body starts to contract, feeling unsafe. Soften tension as you find it with your awareness. Staying for as long as you like. And then the knee draws up to center. Gaze to center. Hips to center. Any lost movements here to ease the end of your practice. Give yourself a hug. You can rock and roll from side to side. Any happy babies that feel comfortable for you. Anything else at all. Maybe just some windshield wipers with those knees. And when you're ready, coming to your relaxation. And as you settle in, taking extra layers, extra blankets, props, eye pillows, anything it is that you need for your comfort, go ahead. And then settling yourself in to what feels like the most restful place you can find. Feel the support underneath you, and soften and deepen into that. Start to notice your breath as it moves within your body. Start to notice how long your inhale takes and how long your exhale takes by simply counting. We're not trying to find a perfect breath or a number. Just noticing how long your inhale and exhale take. And then we'll balance that number out. So if they're already balanced and your inhale is 2 and your exhale is 2, then that's perfect. If your inhale is 2 and your exhale 5, and see if you can come to a 3 inhale, 3 exhale. And something to balance the breath as best as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. Make sure the breath is effortless, even if that means that the count becomes a lot smaller. Noticing your rhythm of breath. And when you're ready, the next time you take the inhale breath, you'll hold at the top softly for the same count. And then exhale the same count. And go straight into the inhale, so a triangular breath. When you're ready, inhaling that balanced count, hold for the same amount. Exhale for the same amount and continue. While you're holding at the top of the inhale, if there's any tension present, soften the tension. If you need to reduce the count by 1 to release tension, go ahead. Stay here, or at the end of the exhale, we shall also hold the breath gently, softly for the same count. So we get a box breath. For example, inhale for 2. Softly hold for 2. Exhale for 2. Softly hold for 2. When you're ready. Breath is as effortless as possible, as smooth as possible, adjusting the counting to suit your body and this moment. Particularly vigilant of any tension on the holds, relaxing your muscles and your body so the breath becomes easier and more fluid. Continue for another 3 breaths, box breath. At the end of your last exhale, simply allow the breath to come back to its own natural, easy rhythm. No control. Notice how it feels to have that easy breath. Nothing to do. Simply being. Staying here for as long as you would like. Allowing my voice to simply slide away as you rest in your quiet stillness. But for those of you who would like to finish your practice, start to simply become aware of the room you're in and the space around you and your place within that. Noticing the angles of your limbs and the support underneath your body. Staying as you are, or taking gentle movements into your body in an organic way that simply feels like awakening. It'll be different for each of us. Allowing the body to move with the breath easily and fluidly. As you start to allow your body to stretch wide or curl up, draw your knees in, anything that feels good. And making your way to a place where it feels like you would like to finish up. Settling into that support underneath you, rooting to rise and finding the flow of breath within your body. Hands resting, maybe one hand over your belly, one hand over your heart, and breathe into the palms of your hands. One of your next exhales, drawing your chin down towards your chest, softening your gaze or closing your eyes. And tuning into that natural harmony between the body and the breath. Thank yourself for your practice, for following this flow. Maybe coming back to it and sometimes through the rest of your day or night as you're awake. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you for practicing.